listen and shh those metally thoughts. This here, is a place where the soil speaks. Not in words, though, not in those creased and crushed syllables of gentleman, but in breath, that hot churned breath, solid with memory, where hooves drop like thunder and the wind carries bridles of smoke. I witnessed them once, or perhaps it was they that saw me first. It was a weighted dusk in the rotting month, where the sun smeared the sky with the colour of dead, rusted cars. I was walking through the western fields, among the bleached wheat, standing as soldiers who'd forgotten which war they'd died in. And there they were. 2, was it? Or 4? No, 3 outlines, scissored from shadow. Horses' heads, proud and terrible, snorting black steam and snot into the approaching night. Their eyes were the glassy marbles of old statues. And it wasn't them unknown alone. Oh, no. It was her. Epona. They, you, we, none, no one. Folk don't speak her name now. Not in the cities since a long time, since long traded for engine and machine. Not even in the hills, where the children now no longer heed to the stones. But I remember. I was raised in the dusty folds of an older, softer tongue, and in that music, Epona means a journey further than goddess. She is the gatekeeper between worlds, the marrow in the scaffold of travel, the shout behind every gallop. And here she rides not on alone, but beside 2 others, her perpetual companions, all 3 perfectly flexing chimeras from the first breath of human counting of time. They were blacker than pitch, those horses, one with teeth like wrought iron, the other with eyes of wet smoke, and Epona herself, not covered in robes or a crown, but something ferocious. Her skin, a palette of thickened river clays and man's storm oil smokes, hair unbound and muscles war ready with the star flecks of sweated soot. But the terror vision moved as a tree's boughs swooping in the dreaming of the wind, rooted solidity and airy weightlessness all at once. Dry and aching, my mouth opened like an old cellar door. The sound I heard escape was not speech, it was memory. That moment, I recalled old tales my soft chuckling grandmother muttered while stitching the memories safe of her old world into her perpetual clothing repairs. She once told me of a boy who followed the hooves and who rode the empty between living and lost. The man-boy who ventured to love after a goddess now shaped into a storm. "Epona!" he screamed. "I'm not afraid!" But that was a lie, for no one stands before her undaunted. She is not death, but the path death takes when it dreams of being beautiful. And now she rises before me, eyes full of mirrors, and in each one I saw a separate rendering of myself. A child sobbing at a horse's grave, a man older than the world striding into a fog that never emptied, a creature with human hands galloping through flames. One of the horses twisted and spoke, not in direct words, but in a bone-deep ricochet, profound and echoing through the hollows held about my ribs. "Why do you walk?" it questioned. "Why do you not ride?" I couldn't answer. My feet were rooted in their cowardice, my thumping heart just a rabbit among the sighting of wolves. But Epona touched an idea's fingers to the air, and the space around me softened. She did not command nor beckon, she allowed. So I stepped forward, and the writhing mists thickened into imagined tack and bridle. My hands grasped cords made of midnight, and then I was with them, on and about all three somehow, racing with the goddess and her shadows, flying through the earth as the ground had become sky. We passed through forests of all dun colours, and every tree's leaf had a face, beneath rivers that sang in their respectful retreat, over mountains with lungs that moaned as we crossed. Time span back behind and towards our meeting. I saw unborn birds hatching from long petrified eggs. I heard my grandfather whistling a song I had not yet learned, and I smelled my own dying, sweet and simple as lily of the valley. And all the time, Epona breathed more stories into my ear, not with intention like a mother or a lover, but like a wind's incessant, insistent, soft whispering across the sea's surface. She told me of the formation of the first horses from the blood of fallen stars, of how she wove their manes from the breaths of resting wolves, how each hoof holds the weight of a broken promise. They were made to remember, she said, and that is why they never forget the way home. Her voice was not sound, but sensation, a pressure tide pushing against my skin, curling through into my fat and bone and self. Then abruptly, we halted. The three horses turned to me, their eyes full of questions I couldn't know. "You must walk now," she said. "The rest of the journey is only yours." I looked down. My feet were bare, and I stepped forward. Each step on the baked earth cracked open a memory. Hearing my father's laugh, my mother seeing my first fall, and the sound of horses galloping on a day before there was a human to ride them. Behind me, the horses began to dissolve, not into smoke, but into charcoal and oil, into the very pigments of the world. And Epona was fading too, body becoming wind and brushstroke, bleeding into the canvas of the sky. Before the fading away, she left me one last gift, just a fragment of the idea of her voice lodged deep inside my chest. "We lack only the imagination to make gods that can save us." And then she was gone. People ask me what this means, and I tell them